My name is Brian Auger, and I work with ITA Dynamics. We're going to be giving this presentation here of Microsoft's recycling software presentation and demonstration webinar. Today we'll be discussing and later showcasing the Microsoft Waste Management and Recycling Software System entitled Microsoft Dynamics NAV NWIS. We're going to keep everyone on mute during the presentation, as we've just learned through past experience that if we don't do this, they'll have their microphones or speakerphones going, and they'll have this noise disruptions. They'll accidentally place us on hold. We'll get hold music, all sorts of wonderful things. But don't worry, we will open it up at the end of the hour for discussion, to take your questions and to further engage with you at that time. As I said, my name is Brian Auger, and I am your co-presenter. I'm the Vice President of Business Development at ITA Dynamics and a U.S. rep for this Microsoft Waste and Recycling Software System. With me on the call is the President of ITA Dynamics, Mr. Michael Iaroa. He represents the Microsoft Waste and Recycling System for all of North America and has over a few decades of software expertise. Today, we're going to touch on four things. First, we'll discuss our partner team of Microsoft, ITA Dynamics, and Tegos. Second, touch briefly on the market's current outlook, software technology's evolution, and understanding your IT infrastructure. Third, we'll discuss Microsoft's goals for creation of an integrated and user-friendly software environment for the future. And last, give an overview and demo of Microsoft's #1 business software solution for the niche recycling marketplace. First off is our partner Microsoft. If you don't already know, is the largest software company in the world. They're in it for the long haul. They're focused on improving people's lives through technology. Now permeates almost every aspect of our day-to-day lives. Our Microsoft partner counterpart in Europe is Tegos, who created NWIS, the Enterprise Waste Information Software. They have over 15 years experience through over 450 implementations of the system, specifically within waste and recycling organizations alone. We are ITA Dynamics, the North American representative of the NWIS software system. We have over 2 decades Microsoft implementation experience with waste and recycling clientele from coast to coast. Next up, we'll look at the current worldwide outlook on waste and recycling, the old versus new business software models, and understanding where your company stands with IT. The world is going green at a tremendous rate, whether by choice or increasingly as mandated by our local governments, as sustainability initiatives are here to stay. It is really no longer a question of if it will be of importance to all businesses in the future, but now rather just when, by how much, and how soon, as things are being regulated by the governments. To navigate the modern-day marketplace, companies require flexible IT systems that can adapt to all sorts of challenges to maintain efficient operational standing. Some of these we've listed out, such as new competitive markets in Asia, greater visibility for balance of supply to demand, increase in production costs, and of course the rise in oil prices, which affect the energy needed to run plants and the transportation costs. In prior years, a business would have to separate software systems for each and every department, from possibly an enterprise-level version of QuickBooks running in accounting to a CRM system for sales and marketing, maybe something homegrown for standard operational processes or inventory management. The problems arising from this old IT system model were abundant, and I'll touch on a few of them here. Data differing from one department to another, for example, executive meetings where misinformation can be worse than having no information at all. Increased potential for human errors as well as personnel costs, issues in bridging and maintenance of gaps by force-fitting software programs to talk to each other, and employee expertise in several different or antiquated systems is hard to come by. The new model that has arisen with the birth of enterprise resource planning ERP business software systems in recent years is a single centralized database repository and software system to manage all the departmental processes and information in one. The benefits were clearly seen. Input data once and replicate many. It's less expensive, less people doing the same job, and less mistakes to correct. And the need to understand only one programming development language. In this case, NWIS is off of a C side, which is very similar to C++. Anyone with a programming background is probably familiar. Infrastructure optimization helps bridge the gap between business requirements and IT spend. And to gain control, one must understand the current state of their IT departments and how to improve them in terms of cost, security risk, and operational agility. Now, Microsoft did extensive research of IT infrastructure and were able to identify 4 types of current IT departments within today's business world. Starting with the basic, you have an IT administrator basically running around with multiple cell phones fighting fires. Non-existent or unenforced IT policies and standards regarding security and backup. Your health of applications is unknown. There's no real sharing of accumulated knowledge. There's high desktop and server management costs and an inability of the business to really benefit from IT. You move from that through a standardized and rationalized approach into something they call dynamic, off of Microsoft's Dynamics lines, where your IT department, because cost savings are fully controlled, your security has gone from vulnerable to proactive. IT management moves from manual and reactive to automated and proactive. There are heightened levels of service, and basically IT is freed up to begin taking on bigger business challenges. How can they really make the company money? Now, next on the agenda, Microsoft is investing billions of dollars into R&D to benefit your business. Let's take a look at their results. Most companies use Office, Outlook, and other technologies like SharePoint to do their daily jobs, whether they know it or not. Microsoft Dynamics Business Solutions simply builds on the already existing platform well known by employees worldwide. The Microsoft Dynamics user interface look and feel is intuitive across all locations and cultures. Staff can work effectively from the start, reducing training costs, and they'll be able to adapt quickly to changing business processes and practices without the need for retraining. By using a Microsoft-based platform, you get a reliable, effective infrastructure, all available through products that people already know and use. Life is becoming increasingly complicated. People are suffering from information overload. Time is a currency for most individuals, and they need to manage these competing demands. There are now a multitude of different technology-enabled devices to manage information, and people need to get a unified view into all time-sensitive information in one place. And today they want and expect it to be flexible and give them 24/7 access to information, resources, and services you provide. Now, Microsoft identified that there are essentially 2 software environments at work within every business. On the one side, you have business process automation software in areas like accounting, sales, and operations. And on the other, personal productivity software, the tools that everyone uses on a daily basis, word processing, email, spreadsheet software, and the internet. The key is to bring these 2 worlds together to provide a platform for automating processes that take into account the way people really work in an integrated, cost-effective manner. For Microsoft to bring together all the unstructured data from Microsoft Office applications and give it structure within Microsoft Dynamics NAV NWIS, which is the ERP platform. And Microsoft identified that a successful business management system must support the entire complex network of people involved so that everyone has information they need when they need it to accomplish things productively, satisfying customers and earning a profit for the company and its partners, everywhere from management, employees, partners, to your service providers, etc. Microsoft has developed a role-based environment to help bring focus to employees users of their Dynamics NAV business software, with 60 unique roles as examples we've shown here. The environment they see and interact with on a daily basis when they log into their system will then be unique to the requirements of their business duties within the organization, so that they see and have access to exactly what they need and are not overloaded with the rest of the data that they don't. Now, next up, an overview of Microsoft Dynamics NAV by itself, and then NAV with the NWIS coding portion. Within that system, which was developed specifically for waste and recycling marketplace. Afterwards, we're going to delve right into the actual NWIS software system to demonstrate its recycling functionalities. Now, Microsoft Dynamics NAV NWIS is a business management software used to streamline business processes. It provides industry-specific functionality that's relevant even for the most highly specialized organizations, like those in the waste management and recycling market sectors. Through the simplified customization, you can easily add functionality, custom applications, and online business capabilities. With the open and adaptable three-tier NAV architecture, you can build in your own best practices along with other customized functionality. It has a flexible development environment with C-side object-oriented code, which is fully integrated and can be easily modified, extended, and reused. This eliminates redundancy and results in an incredibly compact code base. It consists of worldwide objects, which provide the basic framework functionality and serve as the solution's development core. Country-specific objects, which help ensure the solution meets national legal, regulatory, and business practice requirements. Customer-specific objects, which preserve that unique way you do your business that defines who you are and gives you that competitive edge. And lastly, from Microsoft partners such as Tegos and us, ITA Dynamics, vertical solution objects of NWIS added to create a unique solution tailored to the waste management and recycling industries. And your users can interact with the system through a computer and the internet or other external applications because the system also supports internet-based features such as Commerce Gateway, Commerce Portal. Microsoft's investments in mobile systems from phones to tablet PCs also means that mobile devices are already part of this integrated environment. Some examples, sales order entry and tracking for remote reps, shipping and receiving activities in the warehouse, time and expense registration off-site, and we are fully able to extend the capabilities of NAV NWIS out to any Windows mobile device. Employees can carry on working uninterrupted and synchronize their work. Now, it's nice having a little security blanket, knowing that Microsoft's going to be around in the future. They've got, as again, the billions invested in R&D, and they've already roadmapped their products out for about a decade or so in advance. This slide's a little dated. As you can see from all the SB ones, the SBs at the bottom, you got a service pack that comes out along the way every 12 to 18 months. They're taking care of you. They maintain the code that this program was written in. So that's a nice little blanket that you have there on that end. Now here are a few of NAV's current credentials as the #1 undisputed selling business software ERP system in the world. 450 of these 150,000 successful installations worldwide have come from Microsoft partner efforts such as ITA Dynamics using NWIS, which was written specifically for the waste and recycling market sector. So you can see, you've got a tremendous base to build from, verticalized out for waste and recycling. We've got over 6,000 licensed users, over 450 installations worldwide. We're widespread throughout the Americas and Europe and other countries abroad. This is a time-tested and proven solution. Microsoft Dynamics NAV NWIS integrates critical data from all departments of a business into one solution you can implement rapidly, learn and use easily, and customize and maintain with minimal disruption to your business. It's going to increase your competitive advantage by providing deep access to integrated information, powerful analytic tools, and superior service capabilities. As you can see, software has out of the box the core departments covered, from sales, marketing, customer relationship management, finance is fully covered, production is fully covered, from your materials management, treatments and scalehouse, logistics, inventory, warehouse. This has all already been mapped out. Of course, the cone on top, business analytics, intelligence. That's what all the executives want to see, all those fancy reports that they can slice and dice on the fly. Now, built within Microsoft Dynamics NAV was NWIS, and again, that stands for Enterprise Waste Information Software. Over the past 15 years, the system has become so pervasive in the waste and recycling marketplace that various dedicated subsectors have also been developed to target specific functionalities needed. Listed here, we have some examples for local and state government waste management areas, computer and phone technology integrations, document management collaborations through SQL, and finally brokerage of all different types of valued material. In this slide, the wheel represents the inner wheel represents the major business sectors NAV alone covers in itself out of the box. We already discussed. The outer wheel represents the additional functionalities of NWIS and lists just a few of the many specific granules and modules that were written within the NAV coding for a waste and recycling business that are already now also available out of the box to those NWIS customers. And you get things that are, obviously scales and analytics, transport and container management, waste material types, ECT, waste profiling. These are things that a waste company needs, and it's nice having them already, written out for 450 installations or whatever. From this, I'm going to jump without further delay and pass the ball over to my colleague, Mr. Michael Iaroa, who will now demonstrate for us within the actual Microsoft Dynamics NAV NWIS software itself some of the key functionalities and operational processes that are standard to most recycling organizations. Mike?
Good morning and good afternoon to all. Thank you very much for everyone attending. Want to say thank you and thank Brian for that wonderful introduction. And we will get things moving. I understand everyone. We have about 45 minutes, I guess 45 minutes left, and I'll hopefully be able to give you a good feel of what NAV NWIS can provide. Before I jump into the actual software, I always think it's important to get a good understanding of where does it all begin. We start our process in NWIS. Everything we do within the software is based around services. Services that we're providing our customers, services that vendors are providing us, or services that as a whole a business partner relationship is going to be comprised of. What is a service? From our standpoint, a service can be material, can be equipment, can be made up of transportation, or it can be made of labor. Or it can be a combination of any of those four. So if I have a service, and the wonderful example is to, I'm going to use a computer first for e-waste side, to pick up mixed scrap, the mixed e-waste scrap. That's a material. When I pick up a material, I have different steps that I have to follow. There may be equipment involved, there may be transportation, and there may be labor involved with picking that material up and then disposing of it. The question really comes down to, when I look at it from an ERP perspective, there are two groups that I have to make happy. I have the accounting group that is looking at a service, and they're looking at it from an accounting perspective, where they want to account for every widget and what its value is, how much I'm going to charge for it, how much I have to pay for it, all the different stuff that I have to do with dollars and cents. Now, on the other side of the house, well, operations and production do care about that. They're more interested in trying to manage the actual material. Okay, I have a material, and now I need to actually manage it. Either I need to manage it when it's internal. I may have production involved with, then I may, well, in what's unique for our environment, what we call the demanufacturing component or reverse bomb, where I have to take a component and break it back into its raw materials, unlike the traditional manufacturing world. Production is worried about trying to do all that. Well, they're also worried about dealing with equipment. Well, I have equipment that may be out there as rentals or open-top containers. I might have equipment that I have to maintain. Maybe it's a shredder. Maybe it's a mover. It could be almost anything. I have to allocate that equipment to doing certain things and then account for the maintenance of all that and track all that in reference to equipment. Same thing happens with transport, very similar, but then I not only may have internal transportation and dispatch and logistic components, I might have external transportation and dispatch components that I also have to manage for my clients through that relationship. And then I have the assignment of labor. How do I assign labor for doing these functions so I can get an actual cost of what something actually costs me? How do I integrate into payroll so I can or into the time clock? How do I track all that so I can make the best utilization of probably what one of our most expensive costs are people. I show you all this because I want you to understand what a service is and how it all comes from. So when I go into the actual software, it starts to make a little bit of sense. I'm going to get out of here real quick, and I am going to jump right into the actual software. Welcome to Microsoft's future. Microsoft believes very, very adamantly that individuals need a simple screen, what they call a role-tailored screen, that will be the main interface for their users. Be that interface through the cloud or be it through their desktop. How do I simplify the user's experience? And what you're seeing is a start in that direction. And it's called the role-tailored interface. And in this interface, what you're seeing from Microsoft is a more of a look and feel toward their other products. You're going to see Word, Excel, Outlook, all of them start to follow certain standards. In this particular scenario, in this particular role, I'm logged into someone who needs to have access to certain KPIs. I'm managing material coming across. I have certain thresholds. And the KPI is just a metric of measuring of certain thresholds that I'm supposed to have goals every week. Am I getting close to meeting those goals? I might be a customer advocate or a customer service rep where I'm responsible for managing customer relationships and vendor relationships. I might have certain contracts that I'm responsible for, and those are going to be right there. Again, I only see the things I need to see. All the rest is frivolous background noise, and I don't want to deal with that. I may have a web component, which is here, just has to do with gasoline prices and how they're changing. It just has to be pertinent. I have another client actually use it for tracking commodity rates right there on the screen, so they know exactly what prices are going on every day. But what you also see is their integration into Office. And this is one of the very first steps of integration into Office is Outlook. By creating a bi-directional feed of to-dos and Outlook integration right in the screen so that I know what's going on right here and I don't have to jump around to different screens anymore. Also, they've started to include notifications, which is just a fancy IM. It's just a way of notifying and communicating internally within the team and to ask questions. Instead of sending post-it notes and emails everywhere, it creates an audit trail. You are going to hear me talk about creating structure out of the unstructured world of our daily lives, which is our paper and our processes and the way we do business. Systems like structure. They like to keep things organized. And this is just an additional way to help organize what we're doing every day. You see the search buttons and things like that, which you're familiar with. It's just like every other Microsoft. It's all just like Microsoft. If you want to the Internet Explorer, you can type in "give me customers," and it'll show customers coming up. Oops, I lost my mouse. Where did my mouse go? This is a complete ERP system, and I figured I'd like to start that. You're looking at a complete system. Most clients don't turn on everything. They pick and choose their battles, but it is a complete ERP system, from financial control, sales and marketing, inventory control, purchasing, logistics. For those that are dealing with the have side, you have the ability to track and maintain your waste manifest IDs, as well as it has full resource and project controls and project management. All that, by the way, there's analytics is the analysis of material, things of that sort. So it's all in there. I'm going to start at the very, very beginning, which is a relationship. We start our relationship with a business partner. What's unique to our environment is that we have bidirectional relationships with our business partners, where today I might be charging somebody for a service, but tomorrow I might have to pay them for that material. So I may have a bidirectional relationship with a specific business partner. And we're going to look at the Chapman Repair Shop. If we look at the Chapman Repair Shop, they're a customer. And that customer relationship, they have tap sites, meaning stores. They have different stores. At a store, they may have equipment or containers that I'm renting them that I want to be able to look at of what they specifically have. I may want to be able to, on the fly, find out where they're located and be able to email that directly out to one of my team members and to have it look right there, set up directions right on the fly. Again, it's all Microsoft. If I'm integrated into CTI, which is our telephone integration component, right here you'll see a phone. I'd be able to click it, and boom, I'd be able to make a phone call directly from this customer to that site, and vice versa as well. If a site calls and I have the number here, or I have the prefix of the number there, that site and that contract would automatically appear on my screen, and then I'd be able to track an interaction with that client about what type of interaction we're having. It could be also where, let me bring up another site real quick. It could be also where a lot of times where you heard about the document piece, you talked about document imaging. It's pretty simple. Many of my clients have, we have certificates of destruction that we're trying to track, or maybe a contract we're trying to track, where I want to have it recorded within SharePoint that that's going on. Well, when I record it here, I now can also use the SharePoint library to share that information. Why is that important? It's so that through our customer portal, our customers can be empowered for them to get their own certificates of destruction, look at their own contract material, look at their own relationships or reports right from their customer relationship, right from their customer portal screen. So right here, I have the contract I just saved it. It could have been a certificate of destruction, could have been anything. Well, I also talk a little bit about notification. Well, I mean, notification is just a fancy way of saying I am, but with a little bit of drill through and auditability. So I can say, hey, take a look, and I can direct it to an individual. I'm going to direct it to the administrator because that's what I'm set up as right this second. And it's been sent. The person whoever is supposed to know I'm communicating with will then have it show up on their screen that, hey, you got a notification, somebody wants you to do something with it. It's just a way of trying to centralize and keep sense to what's going on. And if you notice there's the notification, I double click it, and then boom, that material's sitting in front of me. I don't have to go look around for it. I don't have to. Again, it's trying to keep some auditability. If I answered it, the answer would show up, and there would be an audit trail behind that. We talked about a customer business relationship. We talked about vendors are the same way. It's just a list and a card, and you can set up vendors to specific clients. A customer CAPI plan is just stores where I have a store 22, store 23, so I can keep track of that hierarchy of the stores that I have underneath a specific group. But at the end of the day, we talked about this. We talked about everything is based around the service. The services that we provide. Why is this important? Services allow us to create once it's set up, to create a simple way for our customer advocates or our customer representatives or even our sales reps, an easy way for them to set up a contract. So they can click a few buttons, click the pricing levels they're supposed to have at, and the contract can be set up. And we'll set up a contract in a minute so you can see how easy it is. But we wanted to try to make their life easier so that they didn't spend, or the customer advocates spent more time supporting the customers and less time trying to manage contracts. Contracts are the exact business scenario with a specific business partner. I can have a contract, an umbrella contract to a specific client. I could have a contract to a specific site, or I could have any combination thereof. In this specific example, we can look at, let's see, Punchy's Garage. Punchy's Garage. He has a contract for the picking up of, in this particular case, oil and other types of oil-based materials, or garage-type materials, hazardous most likely. In this contract, you're going to see 3 different types of service. Don't worry about what the description is. The description is what the service of what product is being picked up. But the service has something that's going to happen to it. In the very first line, you notice it is equipment oil. We are providing a service for picking up equipment oil, and we are going to charge them by the gallon. In the second line, we have coolants and antifreeze, which we are going to pay them a certain amount for the gallons that we pick up. In NiCad batteries, we don't deal with NiCad batteries. So we're going to charge them for the pickup. But here, if you notice, I'm using Potomac disposal for the disposal of those NiCad batteries. Why is that important? The entire business scenario for this customer or for this contract is on one screen. Now, this is not a customer-facing contract. This is your contract. All the workflows that have to happen, the workflows are all there. From it's a sale, this is going to be on a route plan, it's going to be picked up every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I want it to start on the 27th. We're going to have this other one, it's going to be every Friday, it's a cycle of every Friday for our cycle documents, and it starts on the 3rd. But if you notice, NiCad batteries has no scheduled pickup because that's only going to happen on an on-call basis. Okay? So let's look at Best Buy. This is on the electronic side. Sorry, guys. Since I work in about 20 different waste and recycling types of organizations, I have lots of different data in here. But here's another example where I have mixed waste, and I'm paying that particular this business partner a rebate for the material. Okay. Well, remember I said it's just a template for our business relationship. So how hard, if it was on a reoccurring cyclical document, orders will be created every day or every week, depending what the cycles are. But for this instance, I'm actually going to create an order real quick. I created it. It's done. Now I actually have to do something with it, right? So I created an order because they called in. And for some of this material, it's not relevant. You know, this particular pickup, I don't need. It's Microsoft, guys, so it's just like you just hit. All you have to do is hit the shift button, and that's all you do. And you hit delete, right mouse button, delete, and you deleted the lines. I now have an order ready to process, and it's going to be ready for dispatch. I send it to the dispatcher. And it's as simple as I go here, right mouse button, I got to tell her what do I want to dispatch. I could do it to a subcontractor. I'm just going to do it to there. This is because I have that one set up. And it goes out to dispatch. I just dispatched an on-call person who just called it up and went out to dispatch. At this particular point, it gets dispatched, and now it has to come across our scales. As the material comes across, and yes, you could barcode it. It could be a quick snap. I can take the work order, and I'll just type in. I can scan the document ID. But, I mean, from our standpoint, we're going to look at bear with me for a second. Oh, allocation, there it is. That's what I was looking for. I'm going to look at, it came across, if I scanned it, it would have been scanned, it would have brought in the order number. We're going to use that one because that's the one we just used. And all the information from that client automatically appears. It's mixed waste, that's the material coming in, that's the line item I want to. And as it comes across our weighbridge, or say it comes across our scale within our warehouse, whatever it is, let's say it's, it came across, the truck drove across, it was 24 tons, and when it drove out, it was 20 tons. And we're done. It date stamped, created a weighbridge ticket, and we've just received the material. Now, if I look at the actual order of the order we just processed, you'll actually see it actually date and stamped when it came in, what ticket did it use, and what actually came across. Material that comes into our facility, usually something happens to it. If I look at what we call our chart of waste accounts, which is, for all intents and purposes, think of it as inventory for the waste side. I'm looking at material that I currently have within my environment, or that I am responsible for. In production, we need to do something with it. We have what we call in our environment a treatment method. The treatment method is just the breakdown of our material back into its raw good. We call them treatment methods. It could be around, maybe it's glass, television, maybe it's just standard e-waste, maybe it's coolant, whatever it might be. You have the ability to do something with it. And let's look at, this is a glycol process, and it's just a nice, easy one to deal with. If I look at the process of this is a treatment, this is for production, okay, guys? It's all I'm doing is I'm saying this is the rules that I need to follow. In a treatment method, which is just a template, for every 1,000 gallons, I know that I'm going to have an output of roughly this. And I know I need to allocate this. Doesn't mean this has actually happened. This is our estimates of what is going to happen. But what we also can do is part of this treatment method, we can allocate other costs. I can allocate equipment costs, personnel costs, additional transportation costs. Maybe there is additional products that I need, other mixtures of products I need to add to this, and processing costs is something that we included electro over this one. And all of those costs are put in here so that we can get a true cost of what the item is. All it is a production template. I hit order. It's that simple. It's now ready for a production run. Production then allocates the resources that are necessary. They run the actual process, and now they have a result, right? The result is here. This is where we put in our data of what the actual result is. Let's say we didn't process 1,000. Let's say we only processed 500 gallons. I want to allocate it across the 500 so I know what actually I have. I just took 500 out of our spent antifreeze waste account and moved it into other waste accounts, as well as some waste accounts which are going to have to be disposed of in another fashion. But by doing that, I can now start to put data in. And let's say, for lack of a better word, let's say no, this was 150, and this was actually 100. That's what we came up with. We're actually done. All I have to do is, okay, I finished inputting my data. I'm done. It's now affected. By doing that, you look at my chart, my waste chart of waste accounts, you'll actually see that this 50/50 coolant was increased right here by that amount. I'm sorry, guys, I'm running a little slow because I'm running across the internet on this one. It was going faster than the computer wanted me to go. So it was affected right here. But at the same time, there are times where we have treatment methods which don't get separated and don't have a separation process. Sometimes we have treatment methods that need to be broken back into an actual finished good. An example would be if I have 50/50 green coolant and I want to now separate and actually bottle that. Another example could be maybe I have if I'm on the electronic side and I have a mixture of mixed electronics, and once I process the electronics, I find I have 5 computers, serial number of this, and this, that are specific that I need to pull out of mixed electronics that are good, which need to go to actual inventory. And I'm going to show you how it actually moves to actual inventory. From here, I created an actual order. I clicked order. It's that hard to create a production order. Remember, the template's already built, so it makes my life really easy. And as production came, all I just want to do is I want to look at what didn't I do? Did I not press make order? Looks good, looks good. Make order. Order's made. Good to go. And then from there, the order is created. So that production can actually, at that point, get the production order on the line and start actually getting in, start doing things. From here, I actually know that, okay, I'm going to run this process. Hey, I didn't run 1,000 gallons. I only ran 100 gallons, and 100 gallons in liters, because I sell them in liters. I need to basically, it's what, 100, I think it's 3.74. So I created 374 bottles. My mouse will work. better. And I just created 374 bottles of material, which then if I go to inventory and I look at green coolant, man, my mouth's better still. You'll see this number went up because of this, because of a positive addition of 374. Right here. Well, I went faster than I expected, guys. I went through all the basic highlights that I wanted to talk about today. We talked about contracts. We talked about business relationships. We talked about orders. We talked about production. We talked about receipt. We didn't go into the inventory and dispatch, but that's a whole other scenario altogether. From here, I'm going to open it up to questions.
Okay, and just want to tell everyone, this is our information here on the screen to reach us. Again, my name is Brian Auger, and then Michael Iroa with me on the call. All of our information here, we've got the emails, as well as our website address and toll-free numbers. You can check out, we've got a number of different videos up on the website showcasing this system or specific functionalities or granules within the system of, more in-depth looks into specific things for different types of waste management or recycling companies. We've also got a whole number of case studies up there from everywhere around the world, and a large number of overview documents that go into more in depth on the software system and what it entails, what it can cover itself. So with that, thank everyone for coming, and we look forward to reaching out and speaking with you individually here now.